Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 823 of the Mike from Maine show, the place where we do daily interviews with successful online entrepreneurs. This is your host, Mike Thomas, and today on the show, we have Tom E. on, and we're going to be talking about a method that's been getting his clients up to $214 a day by becoming a highly paid professional, and it only takes one day to do it. Really amazing results here, and you're going to see all of that and more. Let's get into it. Here's Tom. We are here today with Tom E. Tom, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
It's been way too long, and I just appreciate you bringing me flowers today as well. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, I figured I should.
The first guest that's brought me flowers to the show. Tom, you've been on the show a bunch of times before. When I think of you, I think of arbitrage. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. You had a highly successful software called Arbitrage Underdog. I've recommended that to my audience multiple times, and happy that I did because we've had tons of stories of people having success with that. Today we're going to be talking about another way that you've been building success story after success story after success story. I'm really interested in it. I want to look at it myself and see if I can either do it myself personally, or I know that a lot of my friends want to be just making a little bit of extra money online, maybe not even a full-time income, but just some extra money. Everyone, that's like the dream there. So let's get into it. I'm going to read off the headline for this, and then I'm going to leave it to you and kind of have you bring us into this. It says here, turn your hidden skills into $214 a day. Become a highly paid professional in one day and get paid $214 over and over again. So we've got a lot of claims going on here, some nice income claims. I want to hear what this is all about.
Sure. Well, arbitrage sugar daddy came out of a need that's existed in the marketplace for a long time. Because I've taught arbitrage for a few years now, and there's a prevalent problem, and the problem is that outsourcers, especially the ones you get on Fiverr, sometimes on Artwork, it's unreliable, and even if you find a reliable guy, the turnaround time is slow, because a lot of times if you do arbitrage, let's say for logos and stuff like that, should I explain what arbitrage is?
Go for it.
Yeah, arbitrage is basically, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you go on Craigslist. There's a guy that has an ad there. He wants to pay $300 to get a logo made. And so you take the job on, then you go over to Fiverr, and everyone on Fiverr charges $5, and they're very, very talented. And so you hire that guy for $5. He does the logo, and then you pocket the difference. You made $295. And in theory, that's a great concept, but in the real world, the first time you send your work to your client, he's not necessarily going to be thrilled because there's going to be revisions back and forth, And the problem with outsourcers is now you got to wait another 24 hours. You got to pay extra money. And, sometimes outsourcers flake on you. So we wanted to basically eliminate the outsourcers. So what we did is we created a method where we teach people the actual skills. But the cool part of it is it's such an easy way, and you can actually turn yourself into, say, a graphic designer doing professional logos, doing flyers, doing Instagram marketing, doing infographics, all these different things within about an hour. And I was blown away when I first went through the training myself, because it's just unbelievable how professional you come off, and
sure, a professional graphics designer would be watching this right now and going, "You're going to be me in an hour."
Yeah, well, it's not like that, It's not like you're going to be a graphic designer, but there's very specific skills. Like I'll give you an example. For instance, logos. Things like that, and you are given a set of skills that are just absolutely amazing. And yes, you will be able to, with a little bit of training, like I said, it's about an hour each. But then if you really want to go all the way, let's say you want to turn this into a six-figure business, you really can, because we have additional training feature. It doesn't cost any extra, where you can really, really go to town. And I mean, like, seriously, if I was a graphic designer, worrying about competition, I'd be like pulling my hair out if I saw this.
When I was looking at this, I mean, what really gets me excited about this is when you talk about it, it sounds theoretical. It's like, okay, you could go out there, you could learn like to be a logo designer, or learn this skill, learn that skill, and then go out and do it. But it's not theoretical. You've got so many people that have actually gone out there and done this. I was just watching your sales video, just testimonial after testimonial of real people, not people that are guru marketers, not I think wasn't your thing like the anti-guru or something a while back. Not things, not like the gurus out there, not like super professionals, but just normal people that have learned a skill and now go out there and provide it, and they're actually making money from it. The question I have for you, and this is something that I just wanted to talk about a little bit more there, is your student results. Can you talk about a little bit more about some more of your students and what they've done?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've done a ton of beta testing with this, and I gave the product to some people who have done other arbitrage methods of mine, and we've had just absolute fabulous results. You know, one of my favorite stories is Benji. His name's Benjamin. Call him Benji. He's only 17 years old, and he really went with this thing. He's got this little entrepreneur brain on him, you know, and he made, I think, something like $100 on his first day or whatever it was, you know. But then within a month, he was up to $1,000 a month. You know, now he's making about $6,000 a month, sometimes a little lower than that. It's really mind blowing, you know. And I picked his brain about it, and it's a really fun story. But he's not the only one. There's tons of other people who have similar results. You know, there's other people like Sean. He struggled for 6 years, and he's never made any money online, and he made his first money online with this because, you know, you learn a skill. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm going to do CPA, I'm going to do YouTube, I'm going to do this, you know, things that like a trillion other people are doing. Where you got to sort of like use a copy and paste system. With this, you actually learn a skill that you can feel really proud of.
In learning that skill, I think that's also kind of insurance for a lot of people. They know that if they need to make some extra money, maybe they have a job, maybe they're doing something else. If they want to make, they need an extra $100 to pay a bill, they can say, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go and use my skill and make some money from it. Maybe it doesn't have to necessarily be a full-time job for them. I think a lot of people just making a little extra money from one of these things is going to mean a lot. It can mean a car payment. It can mean help in paying your rent. One thing that people always get worried about, and this is a question I get over and over again, is, okay, so now Tom's put out this training, and we've got thousands of people that are going to go through it. And the next day, it's going to be impossible because everyone is going to be doing it, and there's going to be saturation. I'm sure you've heard it a million times.
Oh yeah, and it's still not a problem. I mean, like even with my previous product, which was focused on Craigslist, you know, people would come back at me after a week and go, oh, it's so saturated, and you know, and it really isn't unless you choose that it's going to be. The difference is, as you know, it's like sadly, most people who buy info products, they are shiny button chasers, you know, so they try something for a week. So if you just try something for a week and you don't make money, you can't just give up, you know. Now, the difference between this and arbitrage stuff that I've done in the past is like we're not dealing with Craigslist anymore. We're doing Upwork exclusively, which has something like 3 million jobs a year. It's a whole different market. So the market is just vast compared to Craigslist. But even if it wasn't on Craigslist, it wouldn't matter. Saturation is not a problem as long as you follow the system and you're actually willing to work. I mean, that's what kept me broke for 7 years when I first started internet marketing. I wasn't willing to stick with a product. So it's the same story over and over again. Saturation doesn't really exist unless you're lazy about it.
And speaking of being lazy, I think we should point out here that this isn't some scammy, you're going to push a button and make money while you're sleeping course here. Like there's a little bit of work involved in it, but there's money to be made from that work. For people wondering, how much work are these things? Once you've learned that skill, am I going to be buying myself a job where I'm going to be working 16 hours a day to make $5?
Yeah, no, that's another great thing about it is, like I said, the training for each skill takes about an hour. But for the skills that we picked out, on average, each job takes about 15 minutes to complete once you have it down, because it's a system where you are actually given templates. So you're not going to be starting from scratch. Let's say you start a logo. We're going to be giving you templates, and you grab this and you grab that. It's a very, it's a really cool tool. So we're looking at about 15 minutes each. I'm sure it would be a little more if you throw yourself into some advanced stuff, but you don't want to do that as you start out anyway.
What's your favorite part of all of this? Like this whole thing about arbitrage, I think it's interesting that you've gone into this niche and you've owned it. What's for you? What's What's this whole thing about arbitrage that you've really like stuck with and branded with?
Um, I don't know. At first, it was the fun of the software, because no one had really done that kind of software at that scale when we started doing it. I mean, people have cloned us since then, but that's what first got me into. Now, before that, it was doing arbitrage myself. I made good money on it. Then we automated it, But what has me excited now is that you actually don't have to do arbitrage anymore. It's called arbitrage sugar daddy, but it really isn't arbitrage because you're not outsourcing this thing. But I think my favorite part about this method is the independence that you have. Because, like, again, if you do something like, CPA, YouTube, whatever it is that you do, the money can be great if you really work at it. With this one, you get the pride in it. You actually have a skill. And it feels great, like I'm a musician, and it's an amazing skill when I go on stage and I perform something and people respond to it, people pay their tickets, or when I teach people, internet marketing, the feeling, it feels awesome. Your students learn and they make money. It's the same thing. You're going to be providing valuable services because of your talent, and there's a sense of pride that lies in that you don't really get with a lot of internet marketing methods.
Good answer. Inside the course, tell us a little bit about what people are going to get in there, and then we'll move on to talking about the OTOs.
Yeah, it's basically video modules and text modules. Each module, each skill that you're going to learn, has a video with an overview, sort of over the shoulder, and then below that, there's a bunch of text. Now, we do include training for the full thing, so you're not just going to learn a skill. You're actually going to learn how to get into the market, how to fill in your profile when you get ready to apply for jobs. You don't even have to go searching. We have the URLs for you, so all you have to do is click on it. So we take you through the whole process from learning the skill to actually getting your clients and what to do, ready-made proposals, the whole 9 yards.
One-time offers. Once people pick this up, what are they going to be offered in the sales funnel?
Yeah, one-time offer. The first one is the done for you. What we've done is we teach twice the amount of skills. Now that doesn't sound that exciting, but what happens is a lot of times when people order something, they want more. And I've learned this in my 3 years of doing arbitrage and teaching people arbitrage. Most of these people that you're going to work for are companies, smaller companies, and they like to work with the same people. So chances are, and this happens over and over and over, is someone is happy with the logo that you did. Now they're going to want you to do a website for them. Well, that's great, but how do you make a website? Making a website is not part of the skills in the basic package. And so what we did is we analyzed and we looked at what are the things that people always ask for, and then we chose all those skills so that with this package for the OTO1, you'll be prepared for any upsell that they have. Because with the front end, it's wonderful and you can make great money, but you're also leaving a ton of money on the table. Now you pick that money back up with the OTO1 with those extra skills.
I think you've got one more OTO in there?
Yeah, we do. And also in OTO1, we train you on 3 additional sites so that you can up the potential there. And then the OTO2 is case studies. And the guy that I was talking about, Benji, the 17-year-old kid that's just a Bill Gates in the making, plus another one of our guys. They both sent me little sheets of their accomplishments and what they had done in their business. And I was so blown away that I wanted to shoot interviews with them. So I shot Skype interviews with them where they detail everything that they do. So you get to look over their shoulder and see in the real world how does it work? How does a real guy who's actually accomplished thousands of dollars a month done it? And it's some pretty amazing secrets that I wasn't even aware of that they teach. And then the one thing that Benji is doing, he's offering unlimited email coaching for an unlimited time for anyone who picks that up, so that if you want to pick his brain about any part of his method, because towards the end of that interview, it gets a little complex. So your head might be spinning a little bit, but if you want, you can utilize this, and we include his email, and that's for life. So it's a pretty cool thing.
Pretty generous. I wonder if he's going to regret that. He's going to get bombarded with a bunch of people. Cool. Tom, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there anything else, anything that we missed, anything you wanted to mention before we wrap it up?
No, I think we covered it, but again, I'm going to point out that money isn't going to make itself, and I say this with all my products. If you want to be successful, if you want to be part of the 1%, you really have to have the mentality of successful people, which is you have to understand that you can't go, this is going to solve all my problems, and I'm going to give it 3 weeks, and if it doesn't work in 3 weeks, I'm going to move on. That doesn't work. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to make this work. Here's my commitment. I'm not going to stop until I've made $500 with this. And then you actually don't stop, and you will be blown away at what that $500 is going to turn into. But you have to have a commitment. Now, I know that wasn't really about my product. It's about all internet marketing products, but I really like to point it out so that people don't think that they're going to just sit down and push that button and make money.
You and I both know that that push button doesn't exist, but there are methods and there are ways of making money online that are easier, I think, than people make them out to be. It doesn't have to be some huge complicated thing. There are ways of making an honest living online that you mentioned before that you can be proud of. Tom, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and best of luck with your launch.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Tom. If you are interested in picking up Arbitrage Sugar Daddy at its lowest price, you're going to want to come back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, August 16th. You're going to be able to grab it at an early bird discounted price along with a bunch of special bonuses. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.